Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today we're going to be doing a really simple, a really fresh, glowy, youthful look with very few products. I'm going to keep it as simple as physically possible. I have been picking hairs off me for probably 15 minutes now. Trying to tame my mane this morning, it didn't go well and I've got a black top on. Schoolgirl error. Anyway, I've already parted my hair, put it up at the back, given it a little bit of a spray of hairspray, use my Colour Wow root touch up in the shade Blonde because my roots at the moment are absolutely terrible. I am awaiting an appointment at the hairdresser's. Weirdly, I can see my hairdresser, but I'm not allowed to see my mum or dad. That makes sense. Anyway, it is what it is. We're going to get on with it. Let's brighten this up and take it from mugshot to something a little bit more acceptable. The first product I'm going to use, and I'm not going in with a primer, you can go in with a primer if you want to, but I don't feel for my skin today and for the look that I'm going for it's necessary. If you've got lots of large open pores, if you've got lots of texture, you may want to apply a pore filling or a smoothing primer. So I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better foundation. I'm loving this at the minute, absolutely loving this. And I'm going to apply it quite sheerly. Sheerly? Is that even a word? I'm going to do a sheer coverage with a blending sponge. So I'm just going to dip that in and just apply that really, really lightly. So very little product. And I'm just going to spread it out in stamping motions using the blending sponge. Now I am losing a lot of product doing it this way because a lot of it will soak into the blending sponge. It is a damp blending sponge. I've completely doused this in water. I've actually got a couple of other blending sponges arriving today. I've ordered quite a few because Beatrice has started dabbling with makeup. I suppose it was inevitable that was going to happen, but she's stolen quite a few of my blending sponges. Honestly, I'm still finding hairs. They're actually attaching themselves to my face now. It's not a good look. It's really not a good look. I'm going to take the tiniest bit and apply it to my eyelids because I'm not going to be applying any eyeshadows today. I want this to be a really simple, natural look. So I'm just going to make sure that all my eyelids are covered and everything's even. I'm even going to go the tiniest bit underneath my eye. But I haven't added any more product onto my blending sponge. So I added a tiny bit of product to do my eyelids and the tiniest amount, and then whatever's left over on the blending sponge I've just taken under my eye. So there's very, very little product underneath there. So that's it for base. As you can see, the shade Fair Neutral 11 is the perfect colour match for my neck and chest, so I haven't had to blend this down my neck to disguise a colour difference, which I've had to do with plenty of other foundations in my time. So we're going to move on to under eye concealer, and this isn't a concealer as such. I've used this a lot in my videos. It's more of a colour corrector, but in the shade Fair you can use this as a colour corrector and a concealer in one. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish, and like I said, this is the shade Fair. And it is a beautiful pinky peachy shade, really, really beautiful. And I'm just going to go in with my finger and just tap that underneath my eyes. No dragging motions whatsoever. Just going to tap that in place. And as you can see, dark circles are gone. Just going to apply some to the outer edge of the eye as well, where I've got a little bit of discoloration there. And as quick as that, we're done. So I'm just going to brush through my brows using the spoolie on the other end of the NYX Microbrow pencil, just to get the hairs exactly where I want them. And then I'm going to go in with the other end in the shade Ash Brown and really quickly just add some shape and definition to my brows. I'm just going to fill them in a tiny weeny bit, not taking too much care over it. I don't want them to be overly neat because I'm going for a really natural look today. So I don't want anything too neat and squared off. And then just brush through those, and if you've missed any spots, just go back in quite roughly and just fill those in. Now I am growing my brows out at the moment because I think the worst thing you can ever do is tweeze your brows when you're bored. Because I all of a sudden thought it'd be a really good idea to have a change. Let's have a change, and yeah. I was a little bit liberal with the tweezers, shall we say, and just took far too many hairs away, and now I'm regretting it. So I am going to grow them out and perhaps put some serum in them and see whether we can, you know, bush them out a little bit. Moving on to the next product, and this is the product that really finishes the brows off to perfection. This is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. When I had the Gimme Brow before, I said I don't think it's available in a clear version. Loads of members of the Pampered Wolfpack told me about this. I'd not tried it before. I have no idea why I've not tried this before. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to pop some of this through my brows. And almost immediately, it styles them to the way that I want it to be. Sometimes, especially with this brow, which is, you know, my stubborn brow, sometimes this one needs a couple of coats to get the brows where I want them to sit. But believe me, once this is dried down, they're not going anywhere at all. But they don't look fake. They don't look fake. They don't look stuck to the skin. They're just exactly where you want them, and they're not going to move, which is excellent. So I'm just going to use some Laura Mercier translucent setting powder and just dust over my eyelids to stop the foundation that's on my eyelids creasing, because I mean that happens to me all the time if it's not a self-setting foundation. And you know, I don't want those little lines of foundation appearing throughout the day. It's just not a good look for me, so I like to powder the lids in place. I'm not going to put any powder on the rest of my face though. For me personally, I don't feel like it's necessary. I do like that slightly glowier look as the day goes on, but if you feel like it's going to increase the longevity of your foundation, if you get a slightly oilier T-zone like my mum, then putting a little bit of powder on this is not going to ruin the look at all. So you can do that for sure. So apologies, my camera stopped and I didn't realise. I really need one of those sort of alarms on it when it stops, just to jog my memory. Anyway, my camera stopped. I have already applied my bronzer, and the bronzer that I've applied is the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 200, which is medium cool. This is such a lovely bronzer. I've spoken about this plenty of times on my channel before. It's pale enough for anybody with fair skin, so it's not one of those bronzers that you get frightened as soon as you apply the tiniest amount to the skin thinking, oh, that's really dark. This is one of those products that is brilliant for fair skin. It's not overly orange because it's cool toned, so it's really beautiful, but it's also buildable as well. So if you do want that more bronzed look, you can also get that with this product. So because I've spoken about it so often, it's obviously why I forgot to show you the process and allowed my camera to stop whilst I was still going. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, Even though I've got quite a sheer to light coverage foundation on my face, because of the application method that I chose to use, which was the blending sponge, and my skin is still poking through, I do still feel the need to bronze this up a little bit and add still a little bit of dimension. So I've added the tiniest amount underneath my cheeks, blended that up a little bit, also kept going around the perimeter of the face to connect everything together so it all looks beautifully blended. I've applied the tiniest amount through the hairline, making sure to go right up into the hairline, but also blend that down the forehead, just like a natural tan would appear on the skin. Again, going round the perimeter of the face, underneath the cheekbone on the other side, and then I've gone just underneath the jawline. So I'm going to move on to lashes and give my lashes a coat of the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes. Now, I've not used this one for quite a while. I love this one for volume. I don't have a lot of length in my lashes at the moment, which may surprise you because I've always been blessed with quite long lashes. Perhaps not naturally because I always did use a lash serum, but over the last 7-8 months, I haven't used a lash serum. So my lashes have got shorter and shorter. And over the last few weeks, which has been quite a stressful time, I've actually lost a lot of my lashes, which tends to happen to me when I'm going through something because I tend not to get it out of my system, if you know what I mean. It makes my hair fall out and it makes my lashes fall out. Anyway, that's what seems to be happening at this moment in time. So I just want to give them as much volume as physically possible. So I'm going to go right into the root of the lash, give it a wiggle, and then pull up right to the end. So obviously you can curl your lashes if you want to. I'm not doing that because I don't want to pull any more of my lashes out. I mean, they've been coming out in clumps when I've been washing my face of an evening. So I don't want to put any more stress on them by curling them. But obviously if you want a beautiful curled lash, you can do that. So we're going to move on to blush, and the blush I'm using today I'm also going to use for a little bit of lip colour as well. I love this. This is from Iconic London and it is their sheer blush, and this is in the shade Cheeky Coral. It's just beautiful. Really, really beautiful shade. I'm going to pop a little bit on the back of my hand for you to see. Look at that colour, it's just glorious. It's got a little bit of a sheen to this, so it is quite luminising, but no sparkle at all. So you can see that beautiful, warm, corally, pinky peach. It's just so subtle and beautiful. I like to take it up to the temples. Look at that. Oh, it's just gorgeous and girly and fresh. Now you can build this up if you want a little bit more colour, and I think that's what I'm going to do today, even though I'm wanting a natural look. This is one of my staple items in my drawer. So I have a drawer underneath me that I house all my favourite products that I go to on a very regular basis. And then I have a set of drawers over here where I house all my other products that I can dip into when I feel the need. So look at that. That is just so beautiful. So, so beautiful and fresh. It's a very youthful flush. Really, really gorgeous. Then I'll pop a bit of that again on the back of my hand, dip my finger into that and just pad a little bit just underneath the brow bone, just to add a little bit of colour in there as well. I really like to add a bit of blush or bronzer underneath the brow bone. Just gives a little bit more dimension and just brings the whole look together. It looks very, very pretty. Really, really pretty. Now, I've decided not to use this as a lip colour as well. I'm going to go for something slightly different. So I'm going to go for the Chantecaille Lip Chic in the shade Hyacinth. This is just absolutely gorgeous. It's actually not as pigmented as it is in the tube. It's quite a sheer coverage. My mum wore this in a recent video and it's just divine on her. It's a little bit pricey, but you know, as it's in my drawer, I really should be using it. It's so hydrating and so comfortable on the lip. Look at that. What a beautiful colour. So that's it for this look. If you include my Colour Wow Root Touch Up in the shade Blonde, I have used 10 products to go from this to this. Very quick, very simple, girly, fresh, natural look in a matter of minutes. Now, obviously you don't need to use all of these specific products. Some of them are rather pricey. You can go for more affordable alternatives. And if you want me to do a video like this with all affordable products in, do let me know in the comment section. Please make sure you have liked this video, you've subscribed if you like what you see, and also you've hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.